Hello there, friends and family. A warm welcome to you and thanks so much for joining us today. I hope you all are doing fantastic. Today I am presenting a quick and yet tasty cabbage stew. I have a head of cabbage and I've already prepped half of it. What I did was just shred them right here. So I have shredded them and I'm going to prep the other half. I am going to be incorporating some canned tuna and water in this cabbage stew to bring a lot of protein and nutrients. So here is that. My tomatoes I will be using today is just canned tomatoes, and these have peppers in them. They are very sweet and flavorful. I also have some onion, and this is a whole onion, 1 habanero chili, 4 cloves of garlic, and I will be thickening my stew with these eggplants that I had left in the refrigerator, and I want to use them before they go bad. You know how it is with fresh produce. And then I will be incorporating also my koobi, which is salted tilapia, and then this is my secret weapon right here, which is Momoni, and that's cured king mackerel. Trust me, this right here, oh my goodness gracious. This stew we're going to be eating with boiled yams, Ghanaian yams, which is equivalent to regular Idaho potatoes. It's gonna be yummy, so let's begin. Or let's continue rather. So I'm going to just continue shredding my cabbage. So just like so. So friends, the way I typically like to prep my cabbage is really cut them into big chunks. So there is that texture happening in the stew. However, I have my little Zawadi who's 5 years old and he is super picky when it comes to vegetables. If he sees it in the dish, he's like, goodbye. And I really need him to enjoy this dish with all of us. So I'm going to be shredding it today, and that's why I'm taking this route. All right. So you can cut yours into bigger chunks. No problem. And so I am done prepping all of my cabbage. Core left here. I would like to show you.
So I store the core of the cabbage in the fridge and use them to make cauliflower banku. We all know that cauliflower and cabbage both come from the same family, so the taste is similar. And I have that recipe linked below in case you're interested in learning how I do that.
All right, friends. So next step is sprinkling some salt onto the cabbage. I'm going to massage the salt into the cabbage as much as I can, okay? And let it sit in this brine for a little while I prep the rest of my ingredients. Now, cabbage has a very distinct odor. Y'all know what I'm talking about, that strong ammonia odor. The salt helps to curb that slightly. If you have distilled vinegar, it's a good idea to throw a little bit on there. That will really, really help. All right, but no worries, because this stew is gonna be fragrant already, so I'm not really worried about that distinct smell. All right, so next thing we're gonna do is prepping my eggplants. They're also going to go into the brine with the cabbage. Okay? All right, so our cabbage and the eggplants are all prepped. They've been immersed into the brine and they'll sit in here for a few minutes, which gives me the chance to prep the rest of our ingredients. So our next ingredients are this carrot, which I'm going to blend into a puree with the onion, the habanero, and the garlic. So here are the carrots, the habanero chili, 4 cloves of garlic. Now, I almost forgot to add my ginger. How could I forget that? I don't want to get in trouble with my mom now. She'd be like, listen, girl, you left the ginger out of this equation? I don't think so. All right, so here's that. The onion. blend is done. It's not all the way smooth. It has a little bit of texture, but it will cook down perfectly. Zawadi will never know. Oh, mommy has some tricks up her sleeves. All right, so we are ready to begin cooking, friends. So here's some olive oil. We need a few tablespoons of this olive oil. Koobi and Momoni. Little onions. Crushed black pepper. Quick stir. The Momoni is eventually going to completely disintegrate into the stew.
And friends, in the absence of the Momoni, you may use miso paste or fish sauce. If you're a vegetarian or vegan, then you can use the miso paste. They all bring that level of umami, which I feel is a must-have flavor in this dish. So now you're going to pour in your blended mixture of the carrots and the other ingredients into the pot. We're cooking on medium heat and you're going to cook this down. So we're going to cook for about 5 minutes.
I rinse the blender with just a little bit of water so we don't have any waste. You just stir it in. Clean the sides of your pot to incorporate everything so we get an even reduction of this lovely mixture. Cover and give it about 5 minutes. That has cooked down beautifully. I'm going to add a little bit of turmeric at this point. I want the color that it imparts and also its medicinal properties. Perfect. I'm going to cover it back up.
Now it is time to add the tomatoes and eventually the tuna. And because both of them are canned, we will need to really clean them very well with soap and water before we open them, since they've been on the shelf and impurities have possibly settled on them. This is just best practice. We're still cooking on medium heat, and on adding the tomatoes, we will cook a further 10 minutes to cook out the canned flavor. That is also a crucial step.
A little salt.
Ten minutes of cooking the sauce down after introducing the tomatoes. We are ready to add the tuna. Be careful when opening your canned goods in order to not cut yourself. And tuna is very high in protein, and this one is canned in water, so it's like the best of both worlds.
Ready to put our tuna into the pot. And I love that they come in big chunks.
And friends, it is a good thing to taste as you go, especially as you're adding layers. And we all know that tuna has quite a bit of salt in it, especially if it's canned. So at this point, after adding the tuna, you want to taste and confirm the presence of enough seasoning. And if it doesn't have enough, you can obviously season some more, of course, to your own preference.
I also have some mushrooms that I'm just gonna go ahead and add for an earthiness, which is a superb flavor in this dish. I'm gonna let it cook down so that the mushrooms are able to absorb some of that good flavor. And then we'll be adding our cabbage and the eggplants shortly. our cabbage is ready. It's wilted down pretty beautiful, the cabbage and the eggplant.
So after adding the tuna and the mushrooms, we cooked another 7 minutes. We're going to add the cabbage now, and I realized at this point that I should have used a bigger pot. So what I did was add the cabbage and the eggplants in 2 batches.
Cabbage needs to wilt down. So I'm going to stir it in to combine the ingredients, and then I'll cover it and it'll build up some steam, which will allow the cabbage to wilt down and create some more space for the rest of the cabbage. So friends, it looks like the cabbage has wilted down. And now we have a little more space to add the rest of it, so it can all cook together. Well, there that goes. Stir it in.
And continue to cook for the next 10 minutes altogether. My goal is to cook the cabbage through so that it blends into the entire sauce, so that my little boy will not pick them out. So if you don't have that problem, then you don't have to cook it that long. You can leave it to cook to where it's still crunchy and has beautiful texture to it.
Alright, so I removed the lid at this point just because, do you see all that broth that's forming? I want some of that to cook off. So we're going to just let it continue to cook down at this point. It's reducing beautifully. Cabbage stew is budget friendly, and that's what I love about it. Because, you know, a little bit goes a long way. Just look at the volume of this stew. All right, friends, so it's time to taste. Let's see how much. All right, we definitely need a little more salt. This will do. And I also have a little bit of coconut oil that I'm going to add. And that will just brighten the flavors in this stew. We are almost done cooking. One last item are these hard-boiled eggs. And the onions from the beginning. All right, let's stir it in to incorporate that salt we just added.
So total cooking time, friends, including the prep time also, is about 40 minutes. That's it, y'all. Didn't take too long at all. And I think I've cooked it to perfection. Zawadi will enjoy it with the rest of the family with no problems. So it's serving time, and we're going to have it with our boiled yams. If you don't have African yams, you can certainly serve it with any potato of your choice or any starch of your choice. And you know what? You can even eat it by itself. It's a complete meal all on its own. Yum!
So I'm going to go ahead and have dinner. Thank you so much for spending some time with me today. Don't forget to make it a great day and have fun, especially in that kitchen.